Okay, we are here. Let's get everything started. Peace. Okay, we are here. I think, all for once, all platforms are a go. Uh, so everything is a go. We're talking about the Now movement. Again, just a reminder: this is not story time. I love you guys all. I understand your pain, but the pain, the pain is not helping this go away. We need to actually figure out a way to make this go away. Not even help, make this go away. A lot of what I do is I offer a lot of free resources to help. Then again, I do offer courses, but everything hinges upon you making a decision that you no longer want to deal with this. Whether you get a free resource, whether you get a course, it doesn't really matter. You've got to make that decision. Thank you, Jalay Gansang, for joining. I appreciate you, and SGR. Thank you for joining. If you see me look away, it's because I'm actually doing two platforms. Well, actually, three platforms at once. Um, so let me start off with this. This is not a movement built around the narcissist. This is a movement built around healing, rebuilding nervous systems and nervous system recovery, and of course, forward movement. Today, we're going to discuss why revenge keeps you emotionally connected and why reclaiming your energy is the true victory. I think we talk about this often. Revenge, it really doesn't help. It really doesn't. Essentially, you are feeding the narcissist. You are giving the narcissist fuel. You are, in a roundabout way, giving them supply. You would think that, a normal human being will look at you and say, oh, this person is really pissed at me. This person wants revenge on me. That's not how the narcissist thinks. It's supply. You're showing an emotion. You're showing an emotion to a person that cannot manage their own emotions. They cannot, actually deal with their own emotions. They live vicariously through your emotions, which in a way, in a sense, is kind of sad, but that's just the way it works. So I think it's important that we talk about, hey, narcissistic is here. There you go. I think that's why it's important that today we take time to talk about, why revenge is not the way to go. And I get it. I definitely get it. We want revenge. We definitely want revenge against the narcissist, especially after we come out the fog and we see, like, this person, look what the hell they've been doing to me. And it's a hurtful feeling. And as the kids say, we want our lick back. But I'm here to tell you and to give you a resolution, because that's the position we take now. We no longer just tell stories, because we can spend the next 2 days telling stories about how the narcissist treated us. Hey, Monty, thank you for joining. Monty Zora, thank you. I appreciate you, and I appreciate the likes. Thank you so much. We can talk about it forever. But I think moving forward, we need to come up with solutions, because the way that I look at it is based on the Now movement, which stands for no other way but forward. So we have to always be forward thinking this. And I know it's hard. I know at the beginning it can feel hard. But if you get up every day and choose yourself, if every moment you feel yourself sliding back, every time you feel like you want to make them pay for what they did to you, if you choose yourself at that moment, you say, you know what, at the end of the day, I'm just going to go ahead and heal. I'm just going to go ahead and become the best version of myself. And believe it or not, that's the best revenge against the narcissist. That's how you get your message across. I don't care about you anymore. I'm not focused on what you did to me. In fact, you made me a stronger person, because I'll never fall for this stuff again. So you made me a stronger person, but I'm building myself. This has nothing to do with you. And will definitely cause a narcissistic injury, okay, because they feel like you're their pet goldfish for the rest of your life. Um, but yeah, we have to turn that focus, turn that energy inwards into ourselves, because as I've said many a time, revenge against the narcissist does no freaking good. It really doesn't. All it does is help them get through their day. Um, so let me just start with a couple of things that I actually, I take notes about this. Let's start with a quote. It's unattributed, but If they still control your emotions, they still control your energy. That's a very important fact. You know, if the narcissist, remember, part of that dynamic was the utter and complete control of you, all aspects of you, the things that made you special and different. And part of that was your emotions. That's how they regulate their own emotions. Okay. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate you. You know, they regulate their own emotions via your emotions. So if they can control it, that's another reason why they start to believe that they are superior to you. Okay, because they can control your emotions. They feel like the puppet master. They feel like, oh, I can control how you react. I can get this reaction out of you just by saying this. I can get you to act this way just by doing this. So it gives them a sense of superiority as far as you're concerned. So you have to learn how to control your emotions, especially around them. And I get it. Some people are still caught up in that narcissistic dynamic. If you're one of those people that are waiting for your sign, besides the fact that you now see that they were treating you this way on purpose. Hey, Cece, thank you for joining. And that's Chabalita. And thank you again for the likes, Amani. You know, they feel, I lost my train of thought, thanking everybody. But you know, when they control your emotions, and I had to learn this the hard way. In fact, I actually started listening to stuff about stoicism, you know, because I got tired of getting upset, and there was a lot of reactive abuse. You know, it's to the point one time, literally, you know, I realized, I was like, well, every time I get upset, you know, I go in the room, I think it's over. There's a knock on the door, and it's freaking police, you know, and I'm trying to figure out what the hell is going on. And I'm like, oh, this is what you're doing. You're weaponizing the police. So you get the reactive abuse. Not that I put my hands on them. I would never do that. But they're getting that rise out of me. I'm at the top of my voice. So probably the neighbors here. And they're just going to play along with that, you know. And this is why I tell you guys to keep notes, hit record, use your ring cam, you know, your nanny cam, whatever you have in the house, because that's the only way that I got that to stop. You know, that's the resolution. That's the only way, because they slipped up one day and just basically came out and said, well, you know, who do you think they're going to believe, me or you? You're a male. I'm sitting up here crying. So, and they wasn't crying at the time, but they made it clear that's what they're going to do. If you look in this niche, and you'll see that this happens a lot, you know, because remember, the narcissist's goal is not to uplift you. They don't feel any remorse for what they did. They want to destroy you. So I think, again, with the oversharing, I don't know. I don't have a record. I don't. I squeak through my life through the projects doing crazy stuff without ever getting a record. So they felt that that was the way to bring me to my knees, you know, and then plus I get some adult time out, you know, for something that I didn't do, except get upset towards reactive abuse. You know, this is a real thing, people. You know, we're not dealing with someone that has your best interests in mind. You're not dealing with someone that says, oh, well, you know, that's going a little bit too far. Or, you know what, I'm not going to see them locked up. No, they'll see you. They'll see you in adult time out. They'll see you in Plotter's Field. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is their mask, nothing else. Never think, if you want to gauge the humanity of a narcissist, just always remember that the only thing that they care about is that carefully crafted illusion that they carry around on their face. They can't have anybody think of them as being other than the perfect citizen. And once you see through this, once you begin to see through their mask, you become a threat. You become a threat because now you know the truth. Now you can articulate the truth. Now you can let people know, no, this is literally not Mary Poppins. I don't care what you think. Hey, thank you, love, for joining. You know, this is not who you think it is. So they're going to go out of their way to protect that, you know, and it doesn't matter. You know, there's a saying that many people say, as far as these communities are concerned, they say they'll burn the house down with themselves in it just to ensure that their mask is protected. So, and they don't think things through. Narcissists never think anything through. They're very impulsive.
Highly impulsive.
Yeah, thank you. God, you can talk about it. Go ahead.
Oh, I think it's crazy the way that they use their little data collection to later bring harm upon you, and you think that they love you and that there's no way that they would have any ill intent towards you.
Right.
To want to get you put into a mental institution or, an adult timeout is what you were calling it.
Yeah.
But they do, and it's you can't see that really until you're either on your way out of the relationship or out of the relationship.
Yeah.
And that's when I could finally see that he literally had self-destruction written upon my forehead. It's like, I'm going to either make you self-destruct or I'm going to destroy you myself by making things up and having everyone else believe it.
Right.
So that's why the no contact is so imperative for you, because if they have no way of instilling information into you and getting reactions out of you to show everyone else, see, look, see what she's done.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
How she's behaving. Because if he did actually get through to me, at this point, I probably would rip him to shreds. And that's not a good look for me,
Right.
It's really not. But he deserves no less than that. As my, goldfish keeper, sprinkling me with fish flakes here and there when he felt like it.
Right.
I love that metaphor you used with the goldfish. I just pictured myself, in the goldfish bowl and him coming by and sprinkling me with little flakes here and there to keep me happy.
Yeah. But, oh my God, what happened? I think the thing just crashed. Oh my God, I got to get back on. Oh my God. Hold on. Oh my God. I don't know what happened. This is crazy. Oh my God. I apologize, guys. I don't know what happened. It just froze on my end and then it crashed. So I apologize, everyone. I don't control TikTok. Okay, I don't. So yeah, it just froze up on me. I don't think my phone is too hot. No, it's not. So, thank you guys for joining, and thank you guys that actually stuck around. I don't know what's going on today, but it literally just crashed. So
yeah, you froze.
Yeah, I saw myself freezing, and then the whole app just closed out. I was like, "What the hell?" As my daughter would say. But yeah, back to the goldfish thing that you're speaking about. This is the level of haughtiness or the level of feeling superior over other people. That's how high it goes. They literally think of you as their forever goldfish. They can do to you as they wish. They can feed you when they want to. That's the love bombing. That's the intermittent reinforcement.
They can starve you half to death where you're about to turn upside down in a fishbowl, and then they'll come by and feed you again.
Yes. Yes. So
part of their torture.
Right. And that's why I need people to start choosing themselves. And that's why I switched the format. And it's going to take people a little while to get used to this format. But we are literally talking about we need solutions. We can't keep on with story time. We can't. Because if I gave everybody the floor, we would be here for the next week live. Telling stories of what happened, and I think we need resolutions. We need resolutions because what happens is I think the more that we find comfort in the stories, and I get it because I've been there. If you do find someone who will listen after being told so many times, get over it, or I can't believe that and stuff like that. If you find someone that will listen, you want to just, hey, here's all the luggage. Go through it, narcissistic TSA. Go through it with me. But yeah, that's not helping the progress of healing. It's not. And what I'm doing is I'm working on Knock Talk's page on my site as a resource. I'm trying to partner with more people for resources, that can help people. I think she's actually starting a Discord group where story time will actually exist. And I don't say that in a diminishing way. It's just the easiest way for me to say it, story time. But yeah, it's going to allow people. I mean, if I believe that people's stories do help people that are not out of the fog yet. So I used
to help people identify. They help them identify. Right. They don't help anyone solve anything, but they help the people still trapped in it.
Right.
Because I mean, they essentially all carry the same program, and when you're hearing 10 different people telling you that their narcissist is saying the same exact thing, that helps them realize who they're with. Yeah. And that's the only reason why story time, I think, is really helpful.
Yeah. And I think via N.O.W, when she gets her Discord up, and actually I ran something last year when I first started the Now movement. It's called Survivor Stories Saturday, where people are given about 15 minutes to a half an hour to tell their story. I'm not prompting you. I'm not cueing you. The only thing I even ask with those, if you go back to my YT channel and look at them, the only thing I ask about those is there has to be a resolution. All my life, I've been resolution driven, as most empaths are, I believe. I believe that most empaths want a solution. They don't want to discuss the problem over and over again. And I get that. I get that. But I think sometimes we need to be pushed. As empaths, we need to be pushed so that the need to, hey, what's up, user 098? So the need to keep on giving excuses for this person's behavior, even though we're starting to realize, like, you know what, they're doing this on purpose. They're planning this out. And you're saying to yourself, how did I get there? So that's why, again, if you go to my bio, there are a ton of free resources. Again, like I said before I got kicked off, we are actually partnering with other people, creators, and institutions to offer more resources on my site. I think that helps when you have late at night, it's like, okay, I'm going crazy. What am I going to do? And I think I was kind of cognizant of what I was doing, even though that was part of my hypervigilance time. I kind of offer resources from all stages, from being in the fog, needing information, all the way to what you do when you need to get the hell out and regain your sanity, or at the bare minimum, regain control of your nervous system so that you stop acting bat-ish crazy.
Vigilant is a good word to use for how you feel during that state. I was exactly like that, and just because as empaths, we don't do well when we're trapped.
Right.
And your solutions based, like you said, I'm very much the same way. So when we're trapped, it affects us all the more.
Yeah.
And then we become hypervigilant. We're so almost to a point of desperation. We're just desperate to find the answer that we need in order to break out of the trap or prison that we've found erected around us.
Yeah. And it's a self-inflicted trap, as you soon realize as you begin to heal more and more. See, that should be the important thing for most people, is the ability to heal. And I get it, there's no blueprint floating around any place. That's why I created the blueprint for doing it. There's no blueprint. And a lot of creators, I love what they do. Many of them I follow and support them. But I think there comes a time, there's a lot of creators out there, and I'm not coming at their content and I'm not throwing darts. There's the rage-based creators that actually, they want the revenge of the narcissist, and they want to help you get the revenge, And to me, I think it satisfies a need emotionally, but at the end of the day, I think it's the worst thing that you can do, is to want to seek revenge against this person.
It's not serving anybody. That's more like rage bait, where people are trapped in the relationship, and here's the one thing that you can say to piss off your narcissist. I'm with you. Like I
don't think that helps, because
you're serving you at all.
Yeah, you're giving them the last thing you want to give them. You're giving them supply. Remember, any emotion. It doesn't matter if they got you crying, if they got you angry, if they got you upset. it doesn't matter if they've got you wanting revenge. That feeds their little sick need. They're like, yeah, I'm still in control of this person's emotions, because look at them, they're trying to get me back. And I say
Yeah,
again,
if it's eliciting a response within you, or eliciting a response within them, or both of you, it's still supply. You are absolutely spot on.
Yeah, and
you're wasting your time and your energy.
And let me explain to you the reason why. As we learn about narcissism, and I've said this often, but I need to say it again. As we learn about narcissism, we know they have no empathy. They don't care. They don't even care about themselves. They have no empathy. They believe they are superior, and they believe that they're entitled to do whatever it is that it is doing. Broke it up to 7% divorce, 60% cheaters, and 50 single parenthood. Yeah, those are probably some really good stats. Probably true about the narcissist. But when you seek revenge, what are you seeking? You're trying to make that person aware of the fact that they hurt you. You're trying to
or aware of their narcissism, which also is a waste of your time and energy. And you have such limited amounts of energy to begin with when you're in that dynamic.
Right.
You're wasting it. You don't realize it when you're trapped in it.
You really don't. You don't know
what's better.
You're still in fight and flight. Hey, Juanita, thank you for joining. You're still in fight or flight mode. Trying to get your revenge on a person that A, doesn't care about you, B, feels they're entitled to do whatever they want to do, has no empathy, and definitely doesn't have the ability to reflect. Wouldn't you vote that that's wasted time? That's wasted energy.
The weapon is against you.
Yeah.
If you're trying to get revenge on them, they will find a way to twist. You're giving them everything they want, like wrapped up with a bow.
Right.
They're going to twist it and turn it into something that it's not to everyone around them, and possibly make things worse for you.
Right. And if you have gotten out either via the discard or the reverse discard, one of the lines that they use when you're out there trying to seek revenge, when you're out there trying to smear their name, when you're out there basically trying to get your lick back, they're just going to say, see, he or she is obsessed with me. So you're shooting yourself in the right. You're making whatever they're telling about you seem true to the outside eye. It's like, well, why are they doing all of that? You understand why. You're trying to get revenge. You're trying to make them pay for what they did to you throughout the years or even the decades. You're trying to make them pay. And that's a logical human response. How we act on it, that's a whole different can of worms. But that's a logical human response. You want your lick back. But again, that's a human response that works with another human being, that works with someone that can actually reflect, that works with someone that can take accountability. All the things that I mentioned, the narcissist wouldn't have on the sunniest day. It's not built into their makeup.
The revenge is absolutely. It's a language that they understand completely. And like you said, you're giving them a gift.
Yes. Look, you're still mad at me. You're still mad at me. I still control how you feel about me. The easiest thing, and this is the solution, this is the resolution. All that energy, stop wasting it. Even the micro moments. Stop wasting it on the narcissist. Stop going around to the people that's asking you, well, this person, is it true that you did this? I don't got time to talk about this. You believe what you want to believe. Because that's what the smear campaign is. It is a calculated, again, everything the narcissist does from day one has been calculated. It has been practiced. It has been honed. It's been refined for the last few decades. You're not dealing with someone that's new to this. The trauma didn't happen yesterday. The trauma happened when they were very young. Okay, so you're at all new to this. Okay, you're dealing with someone that has had years of practice of entrapping people and then destroying them and then making that person feel confused. Okay, no human being wakes up in the morning and says, I wonder how I can hurt my partner, my mate, the person that loves me. Let me see how many different ways I can just bring chaos into this person's life. Because that's literally what they do when they wake up. That's literally what they do when they get bored, which is constantly. Okay? It's like, I used to in the beginning, because I do have ADHD. Okay? So I used to think in the beginning, because again, the mirror, oh, just like me, they just can't really focus their thoughts. No, they get bored because the shame starts bubbling up and they need to find a way to push it back down. So if that means, as my aunt would say, freaking with your nerves, okay, or starting chaos or starting conflict, in hindsight, would come to me, oh, I just got the phone with my family. You won't believe. I don't care. I don't care, because I knew that all that it would bring me is chaos. I don't wake up in the morning and vote for chaos, and I know that many of you don't wake up in the morning and vote for chaos. But the narcissist wakes up in the morning, and that is the first course of your meal. It's like the continental breakfast at the hotel. The first bar that you go past with the fruits and the fruits and stuff, in that bowl is chaos that the narcissist is trying to create to throw your
no, Juanita, no.
Yeah.
No, Juanita. No.
I was gonna answer that. So Juanita, and then I'm gonna let you chime in on Cassie. Juanita, I actually just put up on my page because I love Lee Hammond. I've said that a lot. No Diddy. I really like Lee Hammond, what he does, how he helps the community, how he helps people understand the mechanism, the bat-ish mechanism that goes on in the narcissist's head. I just put up a video today, and basically he actually said what I've been saying. He went to therapy since 2017, he said. Okay, it's on my page right now. He went to therapy since 2017, okay, intense therapy. But at the end of that clip, he said two things. I'm still a narcissist, and B, don't let that give you hope that you can change your narcissist. Think about that for a second. Think about that for a second. This is a person that has been in intense therapy for over 9 years. Put in the freaking work. And he's not getting up there saying, I'm cured. He's not getting up there saying, I found the path. He's not saying my therapist or my provider found the pill that's going to help me keep this shame down and help me function as a human being. He just said, I can slow down my thought process. I can understand my thought process. But understanding something does not mean that you're cured. Just like understanding you're in a trauma bond doesn't make you cured. It never will. You've got to decide to take that step towards healing. You've got to take action. He took the action to slow down his thought pattern, his process. And one of the things that he said in the beginning was, he said, once he found out, after doing research, just like the rest of us do, once he found out, okay, he said he looked at the DSM-5, okay, for NPD, and he was like, oh my God, I embody most of these. And he said it was a scary thought because, in a sense, he always thought that he was different. See, the narcissist, what he spoke to was, the narcissist thinks that they're normal. They literally think that everybody else thinks like them. Now, this is not me talking. Go follow dude. Go look at his page. Go look at what he's saying. This is not me. This is not my jaded opinion because I've been caught up in 3 of these things. It's not. It's the truth. And that's all I'm trying to get people to accept. This is the truth. The person that treated you like crap last week and then gave you a hug out the blue and then went back to treating you like crap, that really happened. You, as a rational human being, need to stop waiting for your dopamine rush because that's what you're doing. You're hanging around. Notice that the bad times get spread out more and more and more, and you find yourself sitting in that house going like this. When are they going to come back around? Oh my God, when are they going to come back around? Then all of a sudden, a shadow comes past you, gives you a kiss on the cheek or on the head, and you're like, oh, they're back. Oh, thank God they're back. Go ahead, my
Yeah, they're
pastor.
giving me some goldfish flakes again. You know, they come by the goldfish bowl and you're half dead. And they start sprinkling you with a couple flakes and you get all, you know.
Yes,
It's
thank
the
you.
cycle.
Yes, thank you for joining, Amber. Yes, that's what it
Oh, you're
is.
half dead? I better give you a couple flakes. Here, I'm gonna breadcrumb you a little bit and make you think I love you for 2 seconds.
Exactly.
Today, I'm gonna treat you like absolute garbage.
Yeah.
Or bait you into an argument, or set you up for a reaction that I'm going to record and tell everybody about when you're not around.
Right. Right. So literally, you are that goldfish, because what does any fish do? You haven't fed them, or you forgot, or you was wrapped up in something else, and they're used to you coming by 10 o'clock with your coffee cup, dropping their plates. They see your shadow. They're swimming around, coming to the top of the tank, and they're like, yay, they're there. Isn't it the same thing that you're doing when the narcissist gives you a hug or gives you a kiss after giving you the silent treatment for the last month?
Yes. Oh my gosh, the hugs. Yes.
Yeah. Out the blue.
And mine was a hugger. So yeah. Cool. And that's all weaponized as well, and I couldn't see it when I was in it, you know.
And then
definitely weaponized the sex too.
Yes. Oh yes. Again, you know, we have to look at the fact we're not dealing with a normal, rational human being. Intimacy is a weapon. It is a weapon. It will be withheld to punish you. Okay. It will be given to reward you for your compliance. That's not a relationship. That's literally called the transaction. You know, and transaction lands people in jail.
Mine would use that to end fights. So we would have a, you know,
mine did too.
Argument, and he would have a screaming match because I can't do the yelling thing. It's too much for me. I'm very sensitive to it. That's why that lady on the live last night triggered me hardcore. I was just like, you know, she was like yelling the whole time. I couldn't breathe. I'm like,
it's all good.
But yeah, no, like after that, he used the SEX, and that's part of the drug delivery system into your nervous system with the oxytocin and the dopamine and the serotonin and everything that they keep taking you up and down like a roller coaster ride. And that's why after they leave you and discard you, within a few days, you're an absolute wreck. Like, you're like, what is going on? What am I feeling right now? Why am I falling apart? Why can't I wake up? Why can't I sleep?
You're now. You're going through the same withdrawal that someone that goes and visits the guy at the corner store. It's withdrawal. And you deep down inside, you know it, because it's literally the same reactions. You got that horrible feeling in the pit of your stomach. You can't focus. You can't concentrate. You either sleep too much or you can't sleep. You don't want to eat anything. It's done on purpose. The narcissist, and then on top of that, you're not going to get any closure. You're not. The normal thing that happens at the end of a relationship, no matter how bad it is, you're going to get some kind of closure if you're dealing with a human being. You know, if it's only to say, I had to leave the relationship because you did this, this, and this. At least that. You're not going to get that from the narcissist. Who is this? Hold on one second. Hey, TT, how you doing? You know, you're not going to get that from the narcissist at all. You know, and you think that you are because, once again, you think that you're dealing with a normal person. This is a person with a personality disorder.
It was extremely eye-opening for me. I thought everybody was like I am on the inside, you know? So I just was so forthcoming with him about who I am, about what has hurt me in my life, and how I ended up where I am now today. And oh my gosh, just like so naive and stupid. And, you know, I couldn't tell when I was trapped in that relationship that he was doing all of those things to me neurologically and physically and whatnot. You have no idea.
Hey, Marie Jackson, 998. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. But yeah, that is the thing. You know, we tend to give them as most empaths do. We tend to give people the benefit of the doubt, even though sometimes they don't deserve it. You know, if you could take a walk back down your life, how many people? Hey, Icy Braids. You know, how many people did you give them a second chance, knowing damn good and well they didn't deserve it? You just forgave them. You said, hey, listen, forgive and forget. And they
That's just how we're wired,
yes. And we do the same thing with the narcissist because we know that they shouldn't be forgiven, especially if I'm going to vote 2 months into the devaluation stage. Nah, you shouldn't forgive that person. When you're coming out of the fog, you're still forgiving them. I think I said this on last night's live. Part of the reason why I started doing my research because I was in denial. Okay, I'm going to be transparent here. I was in denial. I'm coming across all these great psychoanalysts, psychologists, all of these papers, all these research studies from different universities. I'm utilizing AI because in hindsight, I was saying to myself, there's got to be a way to fix her. That's the denial stage. And then after about a week and a half of that, and finding out people saying over and over and over again, it's incurable. There's nothing you could put them in treatment for the rest of their lives. It's not disappearing. I have never seen somebody come on any of these social media networks and show and prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that they're a healed narcissist. I think they would be so freaking popular. I think they would make a ton of money just from the views if they could come on with undeniable proof and evidence that there is a cure for narcissism. Because there are so many people out there that would buy that hook, line, and sinker, okay, to cure the person, the illusion that they saw in the beginning.
You think if they could choose to be narcissistic or not, that they would choose to not be? Or do they think it's some sort of a superpower? I think mine thinks it's some kind of superpower,
Well,
the weapon that he wields to get what he wants.
Right. Research has shown that at that early age, when they adapt to, that choice that empaths and narcissists have, when they adapt to, what, I felt pain, I want to continue to hurt other people. Research has shown that certain parts of their brain start diminishing and shrinking. Again, one of those parts, they're not born this way. Remember, children are blank slates. They're not born this way. The trauma and their choice to become this demon, actually, their brain starts to rewire. And this is what I'm saying. It's not going to change. They said that the empathy thing just becomes non-existent. The part of your brain that deals with empathy becomes non-existent. That's why they don't care about anybody else. That's why they feel superior to everybody else. That's why they feel that they can manipulate everybody that comes into their lives. So
I'm starting a new book. It's called. I'm starting 2 new books.
Mm-hmm.
I told you about the one by Professor Sam Bachman. This other one is called Cruelty by Nature. Cruelty by Nature. Where did it just go? Oh my God! And it's by Dr. Peter Salerno, and he talks about behavioral genetics and that it is actually genetical, is that a word? In the genetics, in their gene pool. So it's not necessarily always caused by trauma, but that it is part of their DNA.
Yeah, I guess most psychopaths, there is a community that says that this is something that like diabetes. However, just the cold and calculated, I mean, you're looking at something that's worldwide. And I'm not disputing this. They've got alphabet soup behind their name, not me. Do me a favor, send me a message, and I'll actually see if I can get the audio book and listen to it. But because knowledge is knowledge, especially in this field. I just think that the way that they calculate how they treat their victims, how they practice what it is that they do to their victims, how they knowingly know that they're hurting the person that actually cares for them. Icy Braids, the original healing, lunch rush, cure, TikTok. Okay, thank you for those hashtags. I think it's the calculation that really made me decide, okay, TT, you want to bring TT up? Remember, TT, we got to come up with a resolution. This is no longer story time, not to be rude, but we have to have a resolution. Hey, TT, how you doing? Oh, she must have got a call. You gotta love when that happens, when you get a call just as you're about to speak.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, TT. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Boy, when I tell you, I'm so glad they didn't get rid of TikTok. It saved my life.
Okay.
Man, listen, it's crazy because everything y'all say, my voice is kind of hoarse.
No, it's good.
These people go through the same playbook. It's like they went to the same class.
Yeah.
Nothing is different. That's why at the end, I had to be real with myself. And well, if everything is real, he's really not going to change.
Yeah.
I long story short, he did some things to me after I busted him on camera picking up streetwalkers. And except for saying I apologize, he came after me with one of those long, sharp things.
Oh my God! I'm glad you're here to talk about it.
And he ended up going to prison.
Yeah.
And I filed for divorce.
Yeah.
So I told him this morning that the divorce is filed. He didn't even think I was going to quit.
Okay.
And he just went off. And I said, let me ask you a question. Do you really think me calling the police was worse than what you did to me? I had to make sure I recorded it. Yes. This people cheat. Couples fight.
The word salad.
They don't call the police. I said, no, sir. I didn't come up like that.
Right.
When you went off like that, that mask fell off. I've never seen that man before.
It's scary. It's scary.
When I showed him proof.
Yeah.
Everything happens for a reason. Honestly, TT, that was a major blessing for you. Yeah. It was a major blessing. But you know what? I'm human. I'm coming out of that trauma bond. Oh, it ain't no joke.
It's not easy.
It ain't no joke.
Yeah.
When did it end? How long ago was that for you? It's been 2 years.
Oh my God. Do you still stay in contact?
You know what? While he was in prison, I was.
Okay. Yeah, because you still had old problems.
Because you don't that drug. I didn't know what that was.
Yep.
Until TikTok.
Yeah.
And I started saying, are these people in my closet? For real. And everything they would say, I would try to make sure it's wrong. Like,
yeah.
Don't tell them they're a narcissist, they're going to do this. And I would say, hey, I think you're, they do it.
Yeah.
It was no getting past it. He's a narcissist. And covert narcissist is that.
I hate them because that's what two of mine
And
do.
so right now, because, we want to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
And they do that. They get everybody around them. And by the time you get to them, oh, no, you're crazy.
Yep.
He done already told them. So I went ahead and posted the security video of as aware of him coming after me and what he did to me. And you would think people, they on his side. Yeah. It's more about why did I post that video?
Yeah. Well, again, and I say this often, you'll find, especially within toxic dynamics, that the mask reigns supreme. The mask must be protected, and then if we're looking at a family dynamic, it's the same thing. The mask must be protected at all costs.
And not to mention, this is another thing that's sickening. An individual wrote me on Facebook, a male, and said that they was having intercourse while he was in prison with him.
Oh my God, yeah, that's a bit too much. We're gonna leave that alone. You're about to get me taken off of TikTok, so we can't say that word.
But it gets so deep. It's
Yeah. So, and I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but the resolution that I see that you have right here is that you finally awakened to the truth of what you experienced. I think
I'm at the end. I will say I still wake up heart beating. Last night I got 2 hours of sleep. Right. I'm at the end, but I'm trying to make it. Yeah,
and it's gonna take time. And Icy Bread says, yes, people always on the side. It's sickening when you have proof. Well, again, it's like I said, the mask must be protected. Not all flying monkeys are being manipulated. Some flying monkeys, they're signing up for the job, because they don't like you anyway. So they're going to,
right.
Yeah, they're going to sign up for. They're going to be enlisted into the mission because it just gives them another reason to portray that they don't like you. And that's why I tell people, if it's not affecting your pockets, then don't even pay it any attention. It's not worth it.
It's not.
But this is what one of the things that you said was once you realize, and we still make excuses. I get that.
We do.
Yeah, I was there too. Maybe they'll change. But if you go look at my page, Lee Hammond, who we respect as a self-aware narcissist, okay, will tell you it's not happening. He basically said at the end of his video, don't let me give you hope that the narcissist in your life is going to change, because it's probably not going to happen. And we, like I said, a lot of my research was done because me being that person, I was literally at one point there has to be a cure out there. There has to be a way that I can fix the person that I fell in love with. And that's what we did. And you can't take that away. I can fix this person. And
they had a bad childhood. And,
the victim
only
stories.
if I do this.
The victim
stories. With excuses for them. It's part of the denial. I'm sorry. My daddy didn't show. It's okay. Yeah. And then as soon as you feel a little bit good, you find something else. It's like,
you got a permanent key to the Batcave because you're their savior, you're their hero, and this is part of the mind game. They know what they're doing. The hard part about it, what you guys say, when they know they're messing up, at the end they darn you something wicked. And this is why most people have to exit. Again, it's and I think I see Bray says yes, trying to hold them accountable leads to revenge. You stay connected like that. Well, what happens is when the mask starts to unfold, again, I started this off in the very beginning, the mask must be protected at all costs. How people outside of your house view them is what is important to them. They have to be viewed as the perfect citizen. And once you see past it, I think I talked about this last night, it's crazy. It's like watching a person phase in and out of different realities because they panic. 1 minute they're devaluing you, the next minute they're trying to love bomb you, the minute after that they're trying to make you feel as if you don't exist, and then they go back to love bombing, and it's crazy to watch. But the reason why they're doing that is because you've given them a narcissistic injury. And in their mind, they've got to fix that because literally you're acting out of the character that they expected you to act like. They expected you to just break down, not see through their mask, and they could slither off into the sunset. Once you find out, that is literally like riding the longest roller coaster in the world until either they push you to the point where you just leave, or they feel that their new supply is trained enough to sustain them, then they just got exit stage left. And I don't know if it's really the demon. And people have their own opinion, but I tell you, I was walking through the house one time, and I can see him out of my peripheral vision. His look at me was like as if I was disgusting. That's why I had to go ahead and look. And he smiled like nothing. They hate you. They hate you. People, you have to realize, and this is why I need you to make a decision. Again, go to my bio. There's free resources. I actually have the course, Break the Trauma Bond in 7 Steps. Listen, here's the deal. The narcissist was attracted to you because through their years of studying people, they found that empaths gave them almost unlimited supply. Because we're going to keep on trying. We're going to try to fix the relationship. Hey, Indigo, what's up? We're going to give them second, third, fourth, fifth, 100 chances. So they know that they can string this along for maximum supply. So we have to realize that this, from the very beginning, this has been a calculated plan. I don't think the CIA can make a plan like this. Okay, from the first conversation, they're data mining you. They're trying to find out what your weak points are, what your strong points are. And believe it or not, initially, and I say this often, for a moment in time, When they find out that you're an empath, they tend to think for a millisecond that you're going to save them from this shame that they have. So this is why they seek out empaths, because for a microsecond they say to themselves, thank you, Indigo Red. So they say to themselves, well, this is the person that's going to fix me. And it's because of all the attributes that you have, your life, basically. But then they hate you for that. They hate you because you have all of the things that they will never be able to have. And they despise you. And like you said, TT, it becomes tangible. You can feel it. I used to wake up in the middle of the night and be like, why do you hate me so much? All I try to do is help you. Why do you hate me? Oh, I don't hate you. You're being too emotional. No, you hate me. Like you said, you look over the corner of your eye and they're like looking at you.
You're unstable.
He
said, I'm trying to work with you, but you're unstable.
Yeah, stuff like that. It's like, where'd you get that from? And at what point in a loving, fulfilling relationship do you tell your partner that something is bothering you and it gets blown off? We're not going to discuss this. We're not even going to, all I'm going to do is diminish what you're saying. I'm going to devalue and diminish what you're saying. I'm going to tell you that you're being too emotional. I'm going to tell you that, you're crazy, or I'm going to tell you that I spoke to this whole group of people and they agree with me. You're crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you heard that part too, right?
Everybody loves me. I don't know why you're like that.
They take it as a personal attack. You know what I mean?
And you end up believing it because when you show proof and stuff, nobody believes you. It's like, okay, well, maybe he's telling the truth.
Yeah. Hey, Blessed.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
No, you fine. You fine. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Dawn Marie. And they all say we are mentally unstable. Yep. And you don't know what you're talking about. Why are you the only one that feels like that? Yeah, that's their script. That's it. I think they really do get the same playbook.
They do. And Professor Sam Backman says that essentially their goal in the relationship is they want to become you and they want to make you into them.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's what a doppelganger is or whatever, but they essentially want to become who you are. And I really saw that in mine, almost to an alarming degree where he was becoming who I was and I was becoming more narcissistic in nature, but that's honestly what saved me out of the relationship, and that's what taught me the rules of the game.
Very good.
He was teaching me how to play,
Very good.
And that's how I outmaneuvered him at the end. That's the only way I got out of the relationship. I had to outsmart him. It wasn't easy.
Yeah. Not Sam, but Carl Jung actually talks about that, where the empath, the narcissist, and he never calls them a narcissist. It's more like shadow selves. But what the narcissist does, like I said, in the very beginning, they admire what they have in you. And it's almost like they're trying to copy you without resistance. And you'll notice in the relationship, that's why everything becomes a competition. Everything is a competition.
Oh, he was so competitive. Why are they so competitive?
Because
one thing I haven't figured out.
Acres of land and we're married. And that same night, he said, I think I want to give me 20 acres. I said, well, it's ours, but what do you want? What's going on
here? The reason why they do that is because the mirroring stage, again, they're usually mirroring the attributes that actually attracted them to you, your gifts, your talents, the things you can do. Sometimes it could be your status in the community. They want that. And they want it so that there's no competition. This is why they have to work so hard on eroding your confidence. See, you can't be confident and be in a relationship with a narcissist. So they work on that.
Let me tell you what happened just real quick. But when I busted him on camera, see, when I busted him on that camera, I was on the phone with his sister and letting her know everything. And I sent him the video. And she called and his first, not baby, let's talk about it when I get home. Nothing like that.
Yeah.
Don't tell my sister nothing. And by the way, that's a good camera.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
That's a good camera. I'm expecting an apology. Let's talk about it when I get home.
No, it's actually your fault. In their mind.
Zero.
You had a camera in my
Yep.
car?
How dare you? How dare you? Mine used to tell me, it's kind of rude that you record our conversations. Well, you lie so much. You know what I'm saying? You lie because, it became, and I had to stop playing that game because, it came to the point where, I think one time my phone wasn't the place where I left it at. So I think that they were trying to get into erase the stuff, and I just moved everything to the cloud and I stopped talking about it. But yeah, I mean, this is the thing. The competition thing, you can feel it. It's like you're two opposing. It's like the Red Sox against the Yankees. You're in that heavy competition. And relationships shouldn't be that way. You should uplift and support each other. I kind of get it. You're trying to push your partner,
Yes.
so you set up a little competition. I get that. That makes sense. As long as the goal is to make them bigger, better, faster, and stronger. But to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt, your partner is trying to prove that they're better than you. It's like, how does that equate a healthy relationship at the end of the day? Think about that. And like Blessed says, they don't support anything you do. I have gotten promotions, I have gotten raises, and it's met with, oh well, what did you expect? They're never going to celebrate a win. I finished a book. I created the Church of Real Talk. It doesn't matter. It's always going to be met with indifference or, well, what did you expect? This is what you always do. But they expect everybody in their lives to actually drop everything, throw a ticker tape parade, and it could be as literally them tying their shoes that day. So this is part, again, resolution. This is where when you start seeing things like this, you have to begin to choose yourself. Because I don't care where you go online. I don't care what psychotherapist you speak to. I don't care what mental health professional you speak to. They're going to tell you you shouldn't be in competition with your boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, husband, wife. You shouldn't be in a competition with these people. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Blessed wants to come up. Do you want me to bring Blessed up?
Yeah. I need more coffee.
I don't know what happened to it. Wait, here we go.
Lately, he's been hitting me up with this God stuff at the end of the email.
Yeah, stop the contact.
Where is this coming from?
Yeah,
where is this coming from?
Why are you still in touch with him 2 years later if you say you're trying to break the trauma bond? I don't mean to.
I'll tell you this, and this will make a lot of. When I got with him, I had a lot of problems. I'm an investor.
Okay.
And so
you got business with
him. In this state, it don't make in this state, it don't make a difference.
Yeah.
Y'all can be married for 2 seconds. Y'all split it half.
Right, I got you.
But if you file for divorce, and they don't respond in 30 days, you get everything.
Right.
So I want to make sure that if you get what I'm saying.
I got you. Here's the deal. I talk about this often. There's no contact and there's controlled access. You actually need to practice controlled access, and that's one of the defining factors: children, business, or property. So you need to practice controlled access, because what happens is when they're bringing up stuff that has nothing to do with the property or the business or whatever, you need to just ignore that. Okay? Controlled access means I'm only dealing with what I need to deal with. None of your emotions, nothing else. Go ahead, Blessed. I'm sorry.
I just want to throw it out there that when I filed for divorce, I added a no contact, no slander, no blackmail clause to the paperwork, and the attorney was the only one allowed to. He had to call my attorney direct. He wasn't allowed to contact me at all during the divorce.
Good.
So
good.
That's something that you can ask your attorney to do for you.
Yeah. There's always
you don't
options.
have to deal with any contact that you don't want to.
Yeah. Which reminds me, I got to go to court this week. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, but I'm not going to let anyone else take control of the narrative of my life. Prove that.
But just to add to the conversation, the young lady that was just talking about
TT, yeah. I want to add, I'm not divorced yet, but this last weekend, and that's why I haven't been on the 25th, I was able to get a civil standby. Okay. And I removed all the things from the house, from the marriage house that I wanted. He was not there because, right. He's a nice guy now. He's the nicest guy in the world now. Of course. Now that I'm taking everything out. And like, it adds to the conversation because they have to be looked at as the best person. So I have to be, the worst person because I'm removing things from the house now. So I'm breaking up the relationship. Okay. So, of course, I'm the bad person. Of course. But that one of the reasons why I did not get a divorce, because we've been separated for 3 years. But that was one of the reasons why I didn't get a divorce. Because I didn't want to go through, this is mine, that's yours. Now that we're still married, I could still go and get things that I wanted, because we're still married. Okay. And I am going to. Right. But we have no children together. We have no property together. We have nothing. When I married him, I was 50. He was 49. Okay. Here we are almost 12 years later. But I had to be very strategic about me leaving the relationship. Okay. And moving on. Because there were more, there's more that goes on with what's just between me and him. Right. But there's also families that are involved in the situationship. And sometimes the families don't really understand what's going on because they get to see the best part of him. Right. Right. I get to see the worst part. So I'm probably the enemy. Or it'll be made out that I'm the enemy, that I was the bad person. Right. But I had to stay 4 steps ahead of him in order to get out and leave. Okay. And I want your audience to know that it happens like that. Sometimes you have to outsmart them in order to get out of their presence and go no contact. Right. Right. No, I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing that. That is part of what, no contact, control access. And you've got to, like she said, it's like game theory. You're playing like the most important game of chess in your life, because now you know what this person is. And it's scary, because after you find out what they are and they know that you found out, you will see rage outs like you've never seen before. And sometimes it becomes, dangerous. So you have to always protect yourself. I tell this to people often is because a lot of people, I think I've done it a couple of times, you're a narcissist and I'm getting the hell out of here. It's the worst thing you can say. It really is. Because now you're telling them that and that you're leaving. So you're taking yourself out of the role of pet goldfish. So you gotta think your way out of it. Again, and I'm gonna start giving this number more and more often. Call 988. When you're outside the house, when you're sitting in a coffee shop, if you're sitting, outside of a library in a safe space, call 988. You would be surprised. It's a nationwide crisis line. You would be surprised at the number of organizations in everyone's community that understand this. You have to remember, it's not just trending on TikTok, it's trending across the world. June 1st is Narcissistic Abuse Awareness Day. I didn't know that. Yeah, in fact, my book, Break Free from the Trauma Bond, is in pre-orders and it's actually released on June 1st. But yeah, I didn't know this thing was so big that there was a day created for it, but I know it should be. There are laws that are being actually pushed through to be approved, because so many people, they get so off balance from narcissistic abuse. Remember the dynamic. The person that you love is intentionally hurting you. And some people can't deal with that. And then they end up either in, the mental side of adult timeout, or they do this to themselves. It happens. It happens. And so now the justice system is starting to get hip to it. Now even in family court, the worst thing, parental alienation is now something that the judge penalizes the offending parent for. And it could be that you can get adult timeout or lose complete control of being the primary parent for the child. If it can be proven that alienation is going on, oh, hells no. Hells no.
So
what are you doing for the holiday? Are you gonna? Can we plan like an event?
I think we should
for our community.
I think we should.
I'm all excited because I know I'll be off that day, so
Okay.
I want to be a participant.
I think we should. I think we would be bad people if we didn't plan something. Hopefully we can.
I would love to. Bad people, we know that.
Yeah, but I think we can.
I think that'd be awesome.
I think that just put ideas in the chat. I think Blessed, Narcissistic, and Narcos put ideas in the chat, and we'll see if we can make that happen. I think it would be a good look, to show that we as being survivors honor this day.
I liked your all day live idea, but I know that energy.
Yeah, that might be bad
or whatever, but
yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
It might be really draining on you, but we could have a few things going on that day. For sure.
Yeah, or we could jump in, or we can. I think we can do it probably via YouTube, where we can jump in and out, as time. But again, let's go ahead and do that. And
I think I'd like to join forces with you all to do that.
Okay.
I mean, people are really out here hurting, and I would not have known about narcissism if I was not in a master's degree in psychology.
Okay.
And the professor said something that a couple of years later, I thought about what he said, because at the time when you're learning, you're not really thinking about it.
Yeah.
But he said, you'll know when you see that there's a cyclical orientation to it.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my God.
Yeah.
He was right.
Yep. Yeah.
But you don't know it unless you're going through it, and then it's hard to explain to anyone who has never experienced this before. It's almost like, you got two heads if you try to explain it to someone else who's never experienced it. But I thought that I was by myself in this when I first found out what was going on, and then it grew and grew and grew and grew. And I'm like, what in the world is going on?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because it's much bigger than us. It's like the whole world is waking up to this evil that's been going on since Adam and Eve.
Yep.
Or whatever you believe in.
Or at least Cain and Abel.
Humanity started.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it has been. And I think that the current state of the world is bringing more attention to it, because I've seen a lot of posts where people put that person up next to the DSM-5 and it's like, check, and again, part of what I always say is a narcissist is never going to help the world heal, and we have to realize that.
They're here to create chaos.
Yes.
And I hate to say that our world leader
is trying. That's what I'm talking about. Without saying,
I'm not going to mention any names.
Thank you.
What a case study, though.
Yeah. If you look at the DSM-5 and put it next to like what that person has done in the last 2 weeks, you don't have to go back that far. Just the last 2 weeks. You will see so many warning signs. But at the end of the day, I'm going to be honest with you people. I do this because I need you people in your interpersonal relationships, because many of you understand exactly what you're going through. Many of you understand, what's going on. Narcissistic is back. You guys understand what you're going through. You just don't want to admit it. And I've been there. So I'm not making light of what you're going through. I've been there. You don't want to admit it. You don't want to admit that the person that you...
It's a hard thing to admit it when you first kind of find out. She's like, but that person is so sweet, or she's so sweet. And how could that be? I know, we're just going through a hard, and then it starts happening over and over and over again, and you're like, okay.
That's the cycle.
I'm going to have to do some, radical acceptance over here.
You have to, Guys, I want you to know that you have choices, and it's not just my courses. TikTok is a whole platform. YT is a whole platform. Lee Hammond, he started on FB. So there's resources out there. You know, you just have to decide that you're going to use them, because the resources, no matter what they are, will probably sit there forever. But if you never choose to utilize them, how are you going to heal? Because let's be honest, how long did it take you to recognize the pattern?
Wow. I mean, okay, I don't think it took that long for me to see the pattern, but it took me a while to recognize that I needed to free myself
from the pattern. Right.
Because I thought that this person would change. I thought, I don't know what I thought, but I really
no, I thought the same thing.
I was crazy. I was crazy into craziness. If you could.
And they're sitting in the corner depending on you feeling this way. That's why I said it's done on purpose. After the initial love bombing, once they feel that you are now hooked, it just cycles. It just cycles. And
Dawn Marie says diabolical.
Yep. It cycles.
And it is a trap.
Yeah, it is.
It is a trap.
It is, because once they feel you, because they will keep the love bombing. Again, they're expending a lot of energy to entrap you. But once they have you trapped, here comes the pattern.
Yes, they are.
Then because
they are.
The intermittent reinforcement.
Highs, yes, the breadcrumbing.
Yep, highs, which is intermittent love bombing, followed by lows. And then they test the waters. How long can I keep this person hooked on the lows? It becomes a game to them. You know, so you will find throughout, before you get to the last stage of the discard, you will find that you're sitting there like a crash room dummy, waiting for the next high, for the next time they give you a hug, for the next time that they make you feel seen, the next time they give you a kiss out the blue. You are literally sitting there like a junkie, waiting.
Well, the commercial says you can learn a lot from a dummy.
Yep.
They don't play it anymore, but
they don't.
But you can. But Dawn Marie, she says they are masters of manipulation, because what they'll do is when they're breadcrumbing you, whoever it is that is their second supply, they're dogging them out.
Yep.
See?
Yep.
They're dogging them out, and then they can treat you nice.
Yep, exactly. And while they're dogging you out, they're treating the person they're grooming nicely.
Nice.
You know, it's that the pattern continues. It doesn't matter who wears. That's the thing with narcissism. Only the faces and locations change. The pattern stays exactly the same. Exactly the same. And this is the scary part. I was on a Zoom.
She's on it.
Huh?
Yeah, she's on it.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do. They have one mask for everyone else.
Yeah.
But the mask slips with. They can take the mask off with you because they're comfortable with you.
Right. And there's a lady that we had on last night's live. I so appreciate the discourse that we had. But the thing with the pattern is, and I think, and just to revisit that conversation, it's really hard, because I know what it feels like. You blame yourself. You call yourself stupid. You tell yourself in the silence of your head, why didn't I see this sooner? And I get that. But always remember, you were dealing with an apex predator. You know?
And who expects that?
Who wakes up in the morning? I know.
Who goes into a relationship expected to be manipulated?
Yeah, you wake up in the morning, you're tying your shoes and say, by the way, let me get my game plan for manipulation today. It doesn't happen.
It's ridiculous.
It doesn't happen. And I think what Brian said, that's why I'm somewhat careful of what I say, because I know that there's people in different stages of healings, different stages of awareness would be a better word.
Yes.
And, I think that's what happened last night. They felt that they had healed. So by saying that empaths or anybody that gets trapped up in this, which is usually empaths, are kind of dumb and need to take full responsibility. No, after you see past the mask, you need to take full responsibility. You do. Okay? You saw the reality. You saw the truth. You know what you're experiencing. So making excuses, as I did, for this person, thinking there's a cure for this person, you got to put that in the garbage can. File 13 that. Okay? Because I'm going to tell you it's not going to work. Okay? I'm going to save you hours of anguish. It's not going to work. And what you have to do is you have to start believing in yourself. the same way you believed in yourself before you met that person. See, it was your belief in self that actually attracted them to you. Your confidence,
yes.
Your swag, huh?
Your caring, your love, your ability to love, how you treat the people around you.
Right.
It's all a signal to them that they can do what they will once they start doing what they do.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a test drive. That's why the data mining happens. It's a test drive. They want to see, are you going to be someone who is going to feed this insatiable pit inside of me? And
keep trying and trying and trying and trying. Yeah. And I was a test dummy. Believe me. So no one is above this.
Right.
And it's not your fault.
It's not.
That you're a loving person and you think that you want to give people different chance. It has nothing to do with your love.
That's actually a good thing.
It has everything to do with their hate and manipulation.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. That in a nutshell actually encompasses that. You've got to give grace to yourself, because like she said, it's not your fault. We don't wake up in the morning like Batman and say, "Hey, let me go get that gadget over there that's going to keep manipulation."
But they do. They do. They wake up in the morning and they say, "How am I going to manipulate my mate today?
Right.
To make me feel better."
But they're not normal human beings.
That I am.
But they're not normal. See, that's the first thing. Once you see through the mask, you're horrified. You know you're dealing with a demon. Take that to heart. That might help you find a way out quicker. Okay?
Yes, it's calculated and cruel.
Yes. You know, take that to heart. Stop rewriting your reality about this person. This person does not deserve. They have been doing this for most of their life. They don't deserve your forgiveness. You need to forgive yourself and move on towards healing. You know, I'm not gonna. I gotta get off because I have to meet with my children. But you know, I'm gonna tell you guys, it's not hard as you think. But I'm not gonna tell you it's gonna be easy. I'll never tell you that. But you have to want to do it. You know, you could be that junkie sitting up there scratching and waiting for this person to make you feel seen again, or you can say, you know what, I'm tired of living my life like this. You know.
Yeah.
And who says that? Okay. Oh, she's at work. Okay. Hope to see you in time for some live. Yeah. I'll be here tonight at 8. So I want you guys. Huh?
I'll be back. I hope the Don Marie comes back too.
Oh, okay. Cool in the game. So with that being said, guys, I want you guys to stay powerful. I want you to keep healing. The blueprint is definitely in my bio. Free resources there as well. I keep on putting up the course. If you're serious about it, I would definitely suggest that you take the course, How to Break the Trauma Bond in 7 Steps. It's very eye-awakening, I guess. You know, but I want you guys to stay powerful. I want you to keep healing. The reason why I do everything that I do, love you guys. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. See you tonight.
All right. Talk to y'all this evening.
Okay. Talk to you later. Blessed.